I have something new. You've already seen it in the thumbnail, so I can pretend that you haven't seen it, but I'm not. So, this guy. I saw this and I thought, and then I started watching the reviews and I liked what it was doing and figured that I could integrate it into, I just got the new hue so I could integrate it into the lights better, and I could run it, I could play music or a podcast. I listen to a lot of podcasts. So let's go ahead and crack this thing open. I saw it at the store. It was the first time I actually put hands on it, and I didn't realize how small it was. This is a pretty sturdy case here. That's nice. Ooh, look at this. Ah, there you go. That's satisfying in a way. This thing, look at it. Look how small it is. I didn't realize how small it was. I kept thinking it was a pretty decent size. I have an Amazon, the Echo, and the Echo is probably around here, the tall one. There's also the Dot, but I have the original Echo, which is almost twice the size. Probably, it adds another 4 or 5 inches to it. So, this is the HomePod. Circular documentation and quick start guide here. It won't even focus. It does focus. Okay. So very small. The cable is attached. I like the cable. It's got it's not that rubbery feel. It's more of a it's this cloth. And this thing doesn't really weigh a whole lot either. Not that I'm going to be lugging it around, but it's nice to know. So let's look at this real quick. This is the quick start documentation. You had to have seen other videos of a HomePod maybe. Your good friend the Apple sticker. I have a pile of them somewhere around here. So I know in watching other people's setups that you just point it toward, you put your phone by it and it does the rest basically. So there you go, just plugged it in, check that out. Wow. Okay, you obviously can't hear that because you're hearing it through a whatever, but let's see. It automatically finds it and you can choose setup. So I'm going to leave it here in the living room. You agree to terms and conditions. You transfer. There we go. It's setting up now. So now it's transferring all of my settings, iCloud namely, to this. I have Apple Music. I've used Apple Music for a little while now. It's pretty great for what I do. It suits my purposes. That's the whole thing with...
Hi, I'm Siri. Welcome to HomePod. You can't tell, but I'm waving. To get my attention, say, "Hey Siri."
Hey Siri.
Let's try it. Say, "Hey Siri, what can you do?"
Hey Siri, what can you do?
I can do lots of things, like turn on the lights, give you a news update, and tell you about the weather. Now you try. Say, "Hey Siri, play some music."
Hey Siri, play some music.
Okay, here's a personal radio station built just for you, starting with Gojira.
Ah.
Remember, anytime you have a question, just say, "Hey Siri."
You just tap it to finish it. It played some music. I'm going to have to cut it out because it's a copyright strike. I can't do that. But it played some Gojira, which was very nice. So now I should be able to... Hey Siri. Oh. Can you turn my lights off for me?
Got it.
That's the big thing I wanted. I wanted to be able to change my lights, turn them off and on with this. I can also do with Siri. I just updated my Philips Hue bridge. I can do it with Siri, but now I can do it with this Siri. Hey Siri, turn my lights on.
Done.
It works pretty well. I'm going to be putting it through its paces over the next few days. So this is the unboxing, and I'll be back with an impression after I've actually been using it for a few days. I'm still fairly new to HomeKit, and I'm trying to figure out what settings would make it best for me. So I have the HomePod here. So hey Siri, turn house off.
I can't turn off a scene, but you can ask me to turn on a different one.
That's a HomeKit limitation, which kind of sucks. I want to be able to manipulate the scenes and just have everything go at once. So I wonder if I say, hey Siri, house off.
I can't turn off a scene,
See,
but
she
you can
can't
ask
turn
me to turn on a different one.
You can turn on scenes, but you can't turn off scenes. That's a HomeKit. That's a Siri limitation for HomeKit, I believe. I may be wrong with that. Quick Google search. The way scenes work on HomeKit, you can't turn something off. So you create a scene that has everything off. I know, it doesn't make a bit of sense. You'd rather just up and down. So for instance, this is TV. So, hey Siri, TV down.
Okay, your scene is set.
So there, the scene is off. So now, hey Siri, TV.
Okay, your scene is set.
So that there's a scene called TV which turns on these lights, and there's a scene called TV down that turns them on, turns them off. See, it's an odd way of doing things. Rather, the Philips is okay with this actually, because the Philips is up and down. That's it, off or on. Whereas this, you have to tell it to have a scene, and then the scene has to be off. Yeah, that's odd. That's an odd way. I was wondering about that. I couldn't get it to work. I just Googled it and blah, blah, blah. So that problem's been solved, kind of. It's a wording issue, and it's a, not a programming issue, but like a, I don't know how to describe it, but I got it to work now. That's the big thing. The HomePod I've had for about 4 days now. Yeah, 4 days total. Anyway, first off, people have mentioned it, and people on YouTube are generally very small, I guess. I don't know. I've gotten stuff, and it's been a lot smaller than I thought, and people holding it with. Anyway, it's relatively small. I like that. It takes up less room on this little table that I have it on. It works rather well. I know I was listening to music the other day. I have Apple Music, and it sounded really good. It fills this room really nicely. And I can just request whatever song I want, which is really great, because I can just think of the song and say it, and Apple Music more than likely has it. So I have that. Once I figured out the whole home and how home is run as opposed to how the Philips Hue app runs, that was really, I set up a scene that'd be up and I set up a scene to be down. Engineers made that. Engineers thought, I'm gonna make a scene that's on and a scene that's off. So that means like one of their speeds on their car is reverse. That's basically what it means, right? Or off is one of the speeds. That doesn't make any sense, but to them they do. Maybe iterations they'll change that. It's been rock solid because it doesn't do much, so you can't really screw it up, I don't think, but you never know. I don't think that, I mean, if you were to drop it into a bucket of water, or like, I don't know. I really like the mesh. The mesh is really nice. It feels cool, this glass top on there. It responds to the SR. Oops. I was just playing with it and I accidentally started the music that I was listening to earlier. When you say the name of this thing, it's really quick to answer, and like it'll start within about a second, and then it'll go like hurry up, which is kind of funny. But it's been a few days, like I said. I've been using it as much as I can think to use it. I've been streaming audio off of it too, off my phone and my iPad. Works seamlessly. That's the fastest AirPlay I've ever used. I've used a few AirPlays and usually it'll take 2, maybe 4 seconds to buffer sometimes, where you think, is it gonna work? Do you start raising the volume and it poofs or whatever? But I really like it. I think this is something that once I figure out how I'm going to use it all the way through, like I know I'm going to use the lights and then I'm going to play like podcasts or stuff when I'm working in the room or what have you. I think the best thing that's going to happen is when they add the software so you can have 2 in sync. Like I could have one here and one in the other room, and then I could just walk through listening to a podcast and not have to tell it not to pause it or whatever. That's going to be the big thing. So that's a software update. That's supposed to be sometime later. I keep hearing sometime later. I'm hoping it's the summer. I'm hoping it's tomorrow, but hopefully it'll be around the summer when the DevCon thing happens and all that Apple stuff happens. So this thing, I like it. It's great for me. I have Apple Music. It works for me in my environment. I have almost everything's Apple here, so everything works seamlessly together. That's the best thing. I have to configure stuff at work and do all that stuff. When I get home, I just want it to work, you know. This thing works, and I really like it. Thanks for watching.